Thank you so much for tuning in to She's All Over the Place with Kiriaki. That's me.
All Over the Place podcast, we here.
Yeah, we are here for sure. And because of you, we're in the top 2% out of almost 4 million podcasts. I'm so excited. I'm an independent podcaster. Today, I have an independent artist on from Las Vegas. And again, because of you, we're in the top 2% out of 4 million podcasts. So please like, share, leave a comment. If you're inspired, let us know and reach out and make sure that you enjoy the episode. Here we go. So today I have Louie Lone on. He's from Las Vegas.
Yes, I am.
What's up, Louie Lone? How are you?
Just chilling, posted up with my brother Dylan. Love His Pain just dropped, so,
Yeah.
It's my first, podcast. First time really talking. Been in the music industry now over 10 years. Stay low key, but, it's time to pop out and show the world what we're doing.
Yeah. So tell me about growing up in Vegas. How was that for you?
So, I spent my childhood from 1 to, 12 in Vegas. And then from there, I moved out here. But I was always back and forth. So it was from Vegas, I grew up with a single mom, 3 kids. So it's kind of couldn't really afford a lot of space. So I'd be with my aunt. Shout out my Aunt Dina. Love her to death. Shout out my mom. So it'd be back and forth, so from Vegas here. So, but I always say, I got 2 hometowns, here and Vegas. But,
yeah.
So it's majority of the time I spent half and half. But growing up in Vegas, it was, it was cool. It's a lot different. It's a complete different environment than out here, I would say. I would say in Vegas, it's hot. If you're 115 degrees, you kind of stay in your house. But you see a lot of stuff, at a young age, from addiction to, gambling and, since it's hell, Sin City, So you're in a place where you see a lot of stuff going on. And, for out here, it's I got to see 2 aspects of life. I got to see, the bright side and, pretty much, just a different lifestyle. So it was very mind-boggling because it was I come from a family that didn't have a lot of wealth. But growing up in a place like California, you see it all the time. I felt I didn't really fit into any category. So it was kind of a basis of okay, so Vegas, I could, fit in. We all trying to get it. But out here, it's just surrounded by a bunch of snobby, kids with a bunch of money that just have...
Yeah, mind-boggling is a good word. Yeah.
What are you saying? Yeah, it's just a lot of, growing up, it's just out here, it's just, you see all this crazy stuff, all this money, and then being that person that didn't really have nothing, it was just couldn't really I couldn't put 2 and 2 together. So that's why I always shout out Vegas, because, I feel my people out there and stuff, they understand me more.
Yeah.
Live out here.
Yeah. So how old were you when you went on the Las Vegas trip for the first time? Do you remember?
The Las Vegas trip? I was probably, it's funny, I was almost born in Caesar's Palace.
No. Wow.
Yeah, that's when my mom's water broke, though.
Whoa.
Yeah, so Caesar's Palace, my mom's water broke, so.
Oh my God, I love Caesar's Palace. I was almost born on this trip.
I do too.
Wow. Yeah.
It's definitely a super sick vibe. Vegas is definitely it's a crazy fun place, but if you know what you're doing, you make it fun.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Yeah. So right now, you have your album out, Love Is Pain.
Love Is Pain.
I'm in love. It's so good. I was crying while I'm listening to it. From what you shared with me, it's important to listen to one all the way through. So can you share why it's important to listen to the first one all the way through?
So yeah, I'll put it in a little basis. So back in 2018, I got signed, I got a lot of money, and just didn't put myself around the right people, you know what I'm saying? So music kind of felt like it was something I very loved and was very passionate about. How misled emotionally and physically, I'm not physically, but emotionally. Well, as you see, it's, the cover, it's a book. So from 1 to 15, it's just a warp hole into my soul, into my body. You could kind of share a piece of my heart. So for everyone that listens to the album, it's pretty much giving a piece of myself away to you, to enter one's own mind, get into the depths of things and see from track 1 to 15 just how it lays out and kind of lose yourself in it and just realize that you're not the only one dealing with pain. You can have all the money in the world, you can have everything, but heartbreak's a fucking bitch. I think everyone could relate to a bad heartbreak that went through that, kind of messed up their whole shit. But besides that point, Love Is Pain is something super special. The whole behind it, the story behind it, I'll tell you guys. So took a little break from music, after 2018, just went through a bunch of bullshit, bunch of fake people, and kind of took that love for music out of me. But I still would write. I would still late night. I remember when everyone was partying and drunk, all that stuff, I'd be the one in putting on beats and just working, and it was something I never really, understood until now, fully diving in and making this album. But so long story short, shout out mixed by Felix, my brother, my best friend, always treated me right, one of the best engineers, hands down in the game. In February, I went through a breakup of 2 years, did pretty much, everything for the girl, and got toxic. I had to be the one to push it back. So I remember, it was funny, I remember calling up Felix, and he didn't hear from me in like 4 years,
Wow,
so
4 years. So you know him for a while.
Yeah, 5 years. Yeah, we got photos.
Oh,
so
that's the best relationship.
Oh yeah, for sure. And when it's like a relationship where it's just like, you know what I mean? There's always been good chemistry, and it's just like when we work together, it's like just magic happens, So I call him up in February. I remember, and I was just like, being in February, I was like, hey, yo, it's Louie. And he's like, Louie? He's like, where have you been? Like, you know what I mean? Where have you been all this time? And I was like, man, I don't know. My mind. But besides that point, I want to build a studio. And right away, he's like, let's do it. Meet me at Guitar Center, because I was recording studios, like, major studios and big studios and all that. And it was just like, I like my artistry to be centered, like, at my house where I can really think and express instead of, going in. Because it takes, you know what I mean? As being a musician yourself, it's like when you're around, like you can have an engineer that just ruins the whole session. You know what I mean? So it's like, I wanted to lock myself away and create what I've gone through the past 4 years.
Yeah. And also oh my God, we have to, before we go any further, talk about that process, because so much of what you said, in addition to energetically, to get into the car, to drive or go on a subway, to commute and be around other people's energy, when you're in a zone, you want to like be in the studio. You don't want to like jump through all these hurdles and do all these things. And to support yourself, what you said, how you center yourself, like, I just want to honor you, how you put your artistry first. Like you make sure your needs are taken care of. And so you built this beautiful studio that we're in right now. The acoustics are amazing, like on par, like it's so good. You called someone up and you're like, I want it right in my home. So you can like, just like wake up and then go into your studio without leaving your home. And you're depending on you. You're not exterior. A lot of people live on the exterior and depending on other people, but you as an independent artist, it's all about independent artists. What does that mean? Self-reliant, self-responsibility. So kudos to you, because so many artists are out there, they're in fight and flight survival mode because they don't give themselves the space, because we're taught to minimize in life and not take up space. So I just wanted to, really put a pin in that, because I look up to you in that regard in many ways, but in one, it's really remarkable.
It's just, it got me to a place where it was just like, for the 4 years I wasn't making music, it was like I was making good money, I was living, but there's like something in me was just like, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, like what the universe wants you to do, and it's like my whole point of being here is, is to help people and let people know, like, anxiety, depression, pain. It's like, a lot of people are hurt, it's a lot of facades and showing that, it's all happiness, Instagram, but it's like, society we live in today, it's just like, it's not how, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, for instance, girls, it's like they have, no relationships. It's really messed up. I think about like people living in the 60s and 70s where, think about being in a situation where it was like you had to go out and meet that person, you know what I mean, in a spiritual way, like, and find that love. But now it's just like you go on Instagram, boom, which it's like, it's a touching topic, because you know what I mean? It's just, everything's a facade, it's like a lot of people are dealing with so much pain and emotion and trauma, but online, it's just like, especially, it comes to that point where they're scared to show their emotions and be vulnerable,
It's a fake world. Yeah.
You feel me though? It's like a lot of people, they won't, it's like they have to put on this hard, like, and put that to the back, but it's just like, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to, deal with pain, but you have to do it in the right way. Don't let other distractions and other people, kind of put your mind in a place where you're thinking that you have to be this person. You know what I mean? You don't have to be, you can be whatever you want in this life. It's called manifestation and putting yourself there and working and believing in yourself. You see it 100% here, coming from nothing and building what I've created. It's just like, I just want to let the youth know, it's just like, just be yourself. Don't let anyone tell you. Me growing up, I was that one kid, because when I moved out here, started going to school, you know what I mean? I would just never really fit, I just didn't find that, I skateboarded, that was my love, that was my
creative
outlet. So I was like, I used to shout out my boy Danny Films. This was, my brother. He his mom and his stepdad, Jared Land, they own Red Digital. So as a young kid, he would always invite me up to his house, and I'd be up there in LA taking the trains, we take the buses, go skate, so I never really had that normal, I would say, like, first through 12th grade of going to school. I'd always be like getting homeschooled a year, popping back up, so it was like I never had that.
So you did homeschooling?
I did. No.
Wow, that's so interesting. It was pivoting all over the place, but that's what we're about here. But it's so wild with homeschooling, because I always like knew about homeschooling when I was younger, but I thought it was like a privilege. But then with the pandemic, like so many people were homeschooled. So you had that experience before the pandemic. How was that experience of being homeschooled? Like, how did you feel about it?
I mean, it was amazing, because it was just like, I just had easy, you know what I mean?
Free time.
It was just free time. I could do whatever I wanted. And I was like, I was able to skate, go do my work, look up the answers, and you know what I mean? It was funny, you know what I mean? It was just like, I graduated at 17 with like a 4.2, and I probably did like one book, you know, one assignment, 2 assignments. I was just nice to the teacher, like shouts out, I'm not going to say her name, but shouts out to her, you know, and
she knows who she is.
She knows who she is, but it's just, you know, it was cool, but it wasn't like I was fully homeschooled. So it's like I went to 7th grade, so middle school, and then 8th grade I got homeschooled. I was living pretty much in Hollywood Hills back. But since I was like 12 years old, I remember I had my mom drop me off at the Metrolink right here in Irvine at the Metrolink, and I get on that, go to the Red Line, take it up to LA to Civic Center. Or
How young were you?
Like 13.
Going all the way to yourself downtown into like Santa Monica.
Yeah, and then I hit the Red Line all the way to North Hollywood, and then get picked up there, and then just.
How was the transport?
It was crazy, you know. I would just witness so much crazy stuff.
You would.
Oh yeah.
Were you always safe?
I mean, I was just like a kid, you know. So you got to think like
a
young skater with a skateboard. So it's like no one's gonna really.
Did you only go during the day, or did you go at night as well?
I would go at night, man. We would go skate everywhere.
By yourself or with people or both?
With people. So pretty much, my boy Danny was the videographer. So we kind of would just go out and film. So it'd be like night spots.
He was a crazy skater.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I love, like, that was like my love, you know,
really
like, my whole life.
Like, he was like 12 years old doing tricks that 24-year-olds.
Wait, you knew him when he was 12?
No, I didn't. But
I was going to say, wait.
Videos, because people be like, you be skating like that?
Shit.
But I'm rusty now, but after I broke my arm.
Oh.
I was playing my friend, shout out Matt Pierre, my brother, playing him in the game of skate, and I was dogging you know it, and but I got him to tee, and I was doing, you know, and I was used to like actually like, you know, jumping down big handrails and like skating big sets. So the day before I was just messing around and just like did a forward flip, like they call it a dolphin flip. I was like learned them. No one really does them. There's some people that do, but I learned them. I was like got him at tee, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this dolphin flip right now. This is the one. Boom. On flat ground, fell backwards, caught my hand, bone came popping out my skin.
I can't.
So my whole arm was in like an S shape.
Wow.
And I looked at it, I was like, oh damn, like try to pop it back into place, you know? So and then I was like, okay, that's not gonna work. So I remember walking up to like, it was at the skate park over here, they got like a little office. Walking up in there, and I was like boom, like, so there was like I guess like an EMT on site. And he wrapped it up. This was the scary part. So I didn't want like my mom to deal with a high hospital bill or nothing.
Yeah.
So I was just calling I was like, do you need an ambulance? I was like, no, I'll just have my mom just drive me to the hospital, you know? So I waited for her, but he wrapped it up in cardboard. So when I got to the hospital, I remember them taking the carpet off and seeing blood.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it broke like this. So the bone came under. So I couldn't really see that. But I looked at the blood and I was like, wait. And I put 2 and 2 together. I was like, wait, blood, broken arm, and just was like, oh, my bone came out. I fainted, you know, right? Like,
oh yeah, I would have fainted.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It was just like, yo, bro, like, where's the blood coming from?
Oh
you know?
God.
So from there, immediate surgery. You know, I had my arm. I remember.
Where's the scar?
I mean, they're kind of covered in tattoos, but if you see right here, from
yeah,
right here, they're like big scars. I feel right here. That's all metal.
Oh
Crazy,
my
right?
God, I love
Iron
that.
Man, titanium.
Can you imagine going through the airport and you're just like...
You know what's crazy is it doesn't beep.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you put like a metal detector to it, it does. But like in the airport and everything, it just doesn't go off. And it's full titanium. Like I got it. I remember my mom was all like, how big the scar is going to be out, you know? Like,
yeah.
Like, oh, they're going to be like this
so
big.
Quickly.
Oh, no, it was crazy. I mean,
you healed not quickly, but nicely.
Yeah. I mean, they're covered with like tattoos.
It's hard to even see it.
It's hard to see it. Yeah, it healed super nice, but the scars were like here.
Oh, wow.
Here. Yeah.
That's a lot. Wait, okay, since we're doing shout outs here, speaking of shout outs, I always forget, if you're not on the video, please do. We have a video up and you can see Louie Lone's high cheekbones. They're like doing good over here.
You know what I mean? We living life. We doing our thing and just making music, you know, doing what we love, creating, you know. Shout out my boy Dylan, you know, he's his fashion line auditor.
Yeah, Ego Death, you know.
And Ego Death, you know, we rocking the beanie.
Right
this
here,
for life,
Yay.
you know what I mean? Where is it? There's the Ego Death. That's the DD,
no,
you know?
Ego Death's right here.
But this is the Ego Death, you know? Boom, you know? That's the whole. This will be dropping very shortly.
So good.
It's kind of like that tracksuit.
What's the website?
It's egodeath.us.
Got that? Okay, so circling back around, Felix turns up at Guitar Center. We're going to do a home studio.
Yeah, boom, we're going to set up a studio. So actually, Dylan, I was like, hey, Dylan, do me a favor. While I'm at Guitar Center, go run to IKEA and find me a desk. and that's the desk right in front of you. So my boy Dylan, just let y'all know, I'm the worst when it comes to like.
I did everything.
Handyman.
I got the desk. I set everything up.
No, he really
So
I'm the worst when it comes to handyman stuff. Like even if you give me a list, actually, no, you know what? I actually got a couple more now in the house that I did. I was like, I tested myself, but I'm just when it comes to handyman work, like
not interested.
Yeah, girls, if you're looking for like a guy hands on, I'm not the one. It's not good. But yeah, so long story short, Dylan went, found this desk and set it up. We set the studio up, and he actually had to fly to all the way to Canada to go to Sony. He was working on like something with Sony out in Canada, and he was out there for 10 days. And I remember calling him 7 days afterwards, and I was like, hey, Love Is Pain is finished. And he's like, what? You know what I mean? Like, it's been 7 days. I was like, yeah, no, the album's done. So, So he came, and album was finished, 1 through 15, and we locked ourselves in the studio. I mean, we were for the mixing and mastering process, it was literally about 3 weeks of every single day, just in there, just locked in. And, what came was an album that will last forever, a timeless album that kind of, expresses who I am and me as a person, and just to let the viewers into my mind and see my life simulations and everything that's going in, and something that's very special to me. That something was, and the funny part is, I finished the album back in March. So from recording and everything and artistry, and being in this, I'm like a studio rat. It's the best kind of rat to be. If you wanted to be a rat, that's the best rat. The best rat. I mean, I call it studio rat because it's like, this is like my little dome, my little center, it's like, I just love to spend my time in there because as an artist, it's, we can always progress. We can always find different sounds, find different tones, and different, for my career and how I project myself is on a caliber. It's like, it's, I don't look at competition or anything. I think art is art, and that's what a lot of people get stuck in their head about. And they, it's a hard thing because a lot of artists nowadays will be like, oh my God, is this good? Should I do, But it's like, just do be yourself. Don't try to be, and that's the thing, don't try to be this person. Don't try to be Louie Lone. Don't try to be Drake. Don't try to be The Weeknd. Don't try to be, there's already be yourself and express who you are as a person, because that's what comes to life. And I had that problem. It was identity, and it was a problem back in 2018 where it was like I was young and it was just like I wasn't expressing who I was and who I am. So it was like being able to do that, it's freeing. It's such like when I'm sad, I'm having a bad day, I just come in here and create something magical will happen out of that.
Yeah.
And you let your emotions out.
Yeah. It's a release. It's a
1000%. It's a great
100%.
Release. Thank you for sharing.
Of course, We're all over the place. It's a perfect podcast.
We really are all over the place.
I'm looking for my bottle. Wait 1 second.
Don't move.
You want to take a shot for this?
So, yeah, we're going to definitely have the links below, which is really exciting.
You did. We're drinking on that Pink Whitney. New Amsterdam.
So yeah, I mean, it's so great, all the things we're talking about. It's been happening for a long time, but humanity's communicating it. I think it's pretty well out there that we're in a national mental health crisis.
We are.
Social media.
It's we're in a huge crisis right now. And it's sad because it's I feel like it's standards. You see people on Instagram living this life of money and just things, and it's like, there's kids out there with nothing, no food. It's sad because we live in it's very hidden,
It's taboo.
It's something that it's not reality. It's like you go on Instagram, you go see this stuff, and it seems like everyone has this perfect life that they put out and portray to the world that, you know what I mean? But it's like inside they're hurting,
And can you see that when you're looking at photos? Can you see the hurt in people's eyes?
I can. I can see the pain in their eyes, and I can see it's that, it's a facade, because it's like everyone has to, have the nicest car, be, and the end of the day, it's like, what is that? What does it mean? Jewelry, nice cars. Like, yeah, it doesn't touch base on, it's cool to have, but it doesn't touch base on who you are as a person and being, a good person. And I feel like a lot of people, strive to be this figure or something like that, when it's like, me, I'm just being me. This is just honest. This is how I live. My music, it's, this is just on a daily, it's on a daily basis. We live together, we create, we have fun.
Yeah.
We just love to do what we do, and we just be ourselves. We don't want to be those people that flaunt and show off. It's like we just want to put raw emotions and, let you guys know that you can have all that and still be in pain and still be depressed and deal with anxiety, because I deal with it on a daily basis,
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, but I feel you. I personally, in August, got a diagnosis that I resonated with. I've been on the hunt since 2014, and anything that was taught and said to me, the body keeps the score. There's a famous book, The Body Keeps the Score. It's amazing. And like, the body knows, your intuition knows if you listen to it or not. But like you said, a lot of people, they're not listening to themselves. They're listening to social media and, what other people are saying, people pleasing, which leads to insecurity. Focusing back on you, how did you find and or re-find that voice to listen to within yourself?
To be honest, it's like, I haven't, I'm still here and still, everything's coming alive and
wow.
I couldn't be more happy. It's still a pain that's inside of me that's like, it's something that I can't really express, it's just, I can't express it through the music. I feel like, a lot of people, feel like that themselves and, I just want to be the word for broken ones. The ones that really feel like fuck this place, And
many people feel that.
But I want to show them through artistry and seeing where I'm at right now that you can get through this, because I'm here with you guys. And, it's depression, anxiety. It's a fucking bitch. It takes over your mind, your body, and puts you in a position where it's messed up, but you got to just stay strong and just go through it. And we're here for the ride. We're here together. And we're going to...
Yeah, I want to take that just a little further because I think since specifically we're talking to the youngsters, there's a facade of the music video has to be $7 million. Obviously not that extravagant, but hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it's always at the age of not is the money. But in today's society, and it was then, but it's different now. But in today's society with the bots and the marketing, the social media and the scammers and the shiny SOS, shiny object syndrome, all that, the translation of what you're saying is being raw, be real, create. And with TikTok, with all the platforms that wasn't then but is now, people will come to you. Like if you're just who you are, people will come to you and then the rest will work itself out.
No, 100%. I mean, it's like, don't get in your head and if you're an artist, if you're a true artist, as I believe, it's just do your art, just stick to that. And, of course, focus on the business side, but what's real will prosper. What's fake won't.
Yeah. And so I have it in my head, but y'all are not reading my mind right now. So I'll just tell you what came up for me a couple times. I'll, repeat it again in a way is, okay, if you took 4 years off or 10 years off or 10 days off, but make it a practice and a discipline to show up for your art every day and learn to get out of our own way and making excuses, because there's a whole psychological process of making excuses. But because you eliminated so many things that could get in the way for the long term, you're able to show up for your art here every day.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much put every other business to the side and, you can't have a plan B. You know what I'm saying? You really can't. It's plan A or plan, it's whatever you want to do in life. It's make that the plan. Don't listen to anyone else. There's one plan,
Yeah.
If you have that plan B, you have that backing, then that, doesn't come alive. You know what I mean? And that's just the truth, So when I built my studio, I knew this is it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about anything else, my other business, everything. Let me be the outlet for the broken. Let them know that there's someone here that can relate to them. Someone that you can go through emotions and, let me, be the voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Beautiful. I want to transition into who are some of your inspirations?
A lot of my inspirations sadly passed, one of my biggest was XXX Tentacion. He was a huge inspiration. I had the pleasure of working with one of his producers. Rest in peace, Cade. Big inspiration to me. You know what I mean? Juice WRLD, Lil Peep, all the way down to Paramore, Arcade Fire. I grew up in the skating community, so it was Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros. It's just so many different sounds of music and just falling in love with every aspect of music, every artistry, And that's what created myself,
Mm-hmm. And so those are musical artists. Who are some of your other inspirations, whether they're alive or deceased, or if it's a family member or art? What are some of your other eclectic inspirations?
Inspiration-wise, I would say I really get inspired from people, just meeting people. And I'm a very introverted person at heart. I don't like to really, the people that come into my life, I don't really open up to a lot of people. I'm very closed off and sheltered. But sometimes people get put into my life for a reason. I get very inspired by them, no matter what it is. You can learn something from anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big inspiration for me, is just the world and people in general, and just seeing how they think and how they live their life and their characters and their laughs. Yeah, besides that, The Weeknd is a huge inspiration. Shout out all the EXO, Nav, The Weeknd. Shout out my boy Lil Cobain. He's one of my favorite artists, my brother, one of the most talented artists to this day. hands down. That's like one of my biggest inspirations, and love the man to death. You know, I wouldn't be the artist I am today without his guidance at a young age, you know, and tune into Lil Cobain as well. He's an awesome guy. Music-wise, so talented, but
we can have it in the show notes.
Yeah.
We'll put it, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Speaking of, it's going to be in the show notes, but what are your handles, the best way people can reach out to you for business or brand collaborations or just to follow your journey?
I mean, my Instagram's at Louie Lone, you know, LouieLone. TikTok at Louie Lone. You can email louielonemgmt@gmail.com. But yeah, as of now, you know, it's a lone wolf, one-man army, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Do this all myself, you know. Shout out besides with Felix, my engineer. That's it. And shout out my producers. Make this happen. Shout for all y'all.
So yeah, I was having the idea. How many songs do you want to play? We should, when the show's done, we should just run some songs. We could run all 15 if you wanted in a row, since the people are here.
I mean,
we can play a couple, or just get them over to the streaming service sites, or we can have them streaming it here.
Yeah, I mean,
what should we do?
Show them some unreleased too.
You want to put something unreleased too?
And why not give them a little sneak peek to Dysphoria?
Do you want to play something right now?
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Let's do it. Right, let me put my laptop on then.
Okay, so we're going to give you a little sneak peek of what's next for Louie Lone.
You already know. Dysphoria, the next tape.
We're popping over here. Not bottles, speakers.
Oh! Cut because it popped the audio.
You doing it over?
Tell me what you like, what you want, what you really wanna do. Tell me what you wanna. Tell me all your fantasies. Let me know if they're true. All the times I sat alone and thought about you. Thought about you. It was all lies I should've known. Coming from you. All this pain and agony that I go through. What's new? All the time we spent together and I don't know you. There was no lies I should've known coming from you. Thought the love was real until I met you. That's what I deserve for fucking with you. That's what I deserve for fucking with you. Tell me what you like, what you want, what you really wanna do. Tell me all your fantasies, let me know if they're true. All the times I sat alone and thought about you. Thought about you. There was all lies I should've known. Coming from you.
So who's this guitar solo?
Feel me?
Who's on the guitar?
My boy Dave. My boy Dave killed it on the guitar.
Yeah.
That's that new unreleased.
So good. So this is going to be on your next album.
Dysphoria. Yeah.
And do you know how many? Okay, I don't know if it's going to be spilling the beans. Do we know how many tracks are going to be on that album yet,
really
or
don't.
it's a surprise?
It's a surprise.
Okay.
It's,
love surprises.
Definitely you guys are gonna love it. You know,
we're excited.
It's gonna be sick. You know, it's gonna open a whole new category of Louie Lone.
Yeah.
You know, Love is Pain was the cover of the book, but we need to,
what's on the inside.
You dig? We're gonna open that book for you.
Right.
Let you guys see.
Yeah, that was a sneak peek. That was really cool.
Yeah, that one's a crazy record.
Yeah, it's very inspirational, honestly, for my show because I own the eyepiece and I started my podcast in 2019. So I did it in seasons and I did thematic seasons. But season 5, because I found my core lane of what goes out and what comes in, energy, making sure it's reciprocated because I was putting so much out, right? right? And that was a lesson on its own. But then I started feeling my vitality depleted. So it's like, okay, if I'm going to put all this energy out, I have to make sure it's reciprocated. So I'm being fueled up by this outside energy. That's why we do what we do, because we want to help other people.
Yeah.
We want to put it out there. So I started my season 5, usually I do like 22 episodes, a bonus episode 23. This season I started in January. This is my first time. I'm going all year because I'm having so much fun that I want to keep it growing and going.
I wouldn't do another podcast besides yours.
Just by doing this, I'm thinking like I want to like pivot the show and just have you on more often, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. I mean, I would love to star on any of yours. You know what I mean? It's for me as an artist. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, shouts out to all the other podcasts. Shouts out to everybody. You know what I mean? I catch a vibe and it's good, but it's just like, you know, it's something special. You know, this is my first podcast and I want to spend it with, just so you know, we've been hanging out for the past few days, you know, getting to know each other and, you know, it's the love and the passion of her heart for me. And just, you know, there's not a lot of good people in this world. And I want to let everyone know on this podcast that everyone that's watching her, you know, and supporting her, like, you guys don't understand that you're supporting such an amazing, talented woman, you know, hands down, one of the best people I've ever met. I don't know how to explain that into words, but the most caring, loving heart, you know. I was at a point, you know, it's crazy the way we met, but you know, I've never just met someone, you know, hands down, that is just has a heart as big as yours. So I'm just I'm like wait, let me just make sure we're getting all of that. I'm just kidding. No, really though.
No, it's like you always have to do these mic checks here. Yeah, it's like
but I just, you know, let me rephrase
that means a lot. Thank you.
I mean, it's the truth, you know. It's like, you know, it's you seeing something that, you know, it's like with me coming back into the music, it's just like, you know, I waited, you know, until, and it's like, it's a pleasure to be on your podcast. I'm more than grateful to be able to be in your presence and speak with you, because you're such a talented, amazing woman, hard worker, strong, independent, not relying on anybody, and just still with, you know, with just all the stuff that you've gone through in your life, just to still have a smile on your face and helping others. It just, you know, you're a gift from God, and just keep up the positivity. And I just want to say to all you guys, you know, you're supporting someone that is worth supporting, someone that's amazing, you know. I want to do, like, to be real with y'all, from Louie Lone standpoint, I don't do podcasts. You know, this will probably be one. I'll maybe pop in a couple anytime she wants me on here, but just the person that she is, it's like, I would, any way I can support and help her and to be a part of anything, just because she's helping me in so many different ways, you know. And it's just, man, you guys tuned into the right podcast. She's all over the place. I'm all over the place. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I mean, thank you so much. I feel the same about you, 1,000% or 1,000,000%. And which, you know, it's really means a lot. And most importantly, I also want to communicate for the person tuning in, to say that I receive it, because it's really important to be able to.
She's an amazing person, hands down. I got her headphones off, but you know, you gotta, you know, I feel like
it's important to receive it.
I mean, because when you have this,
and it's difficult to do. For a lot of people, I think can relate to it. You know, just receiving it.
You have to understand, having this internet persona and everything. It's like, you know, and having your podcast, people don't know how of amazing person you are. You know, because they don't get
I'm
to
like
see,
you. I'm
know?
so private. I isolate. Like, I don't allow a lot of people in. I'm like really a people person.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just show people what, and they can talk whatever. Exactly. But like, I'm very private of who I allow into my life. Like,
no, 100%. But it's like, especially on that basis, you know, doing podcasts, doing this, it's like, there's so many people that, you know, on camera.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you doing?
Right.
And are evil people, but like,
you're
such, like, outside of everything else, you're such an amazing, just, you know, honestly, I've never like, you know, right hand to God, like, you know, I've never met someone just, you know, that is so amazing and just has the biggest heart. And that's what I want all, you know, your supporters and everyone to know, that you guys have the right person you're supporting, you know, a real person, someone that still has love in them, because I feel like we live in a world today where love is pain.
Yeah,
you know?
well said. I agree. Yeah, definitely. Thank you again. Okay, wow. This has been amazing. We're going to keep growing and going together. This is great. This is, you know, we're making history over here. It's, you know, always the start of something new, and having that white canvas and creating what you want to create. And anything is possible.
Anything.
Anything's possible, no matter what you're growing through. Because you know, when he was speaking earlier, things that came up for me and just being in tuned. I know someone's sitting at home right now and they're just like, oh, well, I don't have this circumstance, or this is my circumstance, or you're comparing yourself to his story and to mine and maybe other people that you know in your head. But comparison's a death threat, and we all have circumstances. But it's how we, one, react to those circumstances, or two, how we respond to those circumstances circumstances. And then also you may be in a situation where like, I live with my grandma or I live with my parents, so I have to. And so you're going to pout like a 3-year-old and be like, oh, I'm forced to do this. That may be true, but Louie Lone, he skateboarded, like he's making music, like you can touch grass, like you can create a space for yourself, even if you don't have a space, even if it's going into your freaking bathroom and creating a space for yourself just to do something that you need to do for yourself. Louie Lone was talking about manifestation. So can you really kind of go into a process? I'm sure it's all over the place, but like an example of how you manifest, because you mentioned it earlier.
Of course. You know, the thing is the only thing that can stop your dreams from coming true is yourself. It's a big thing. It's called self-doubt. And a lot of people think that when it comes to manifestation, you know, it's, oh, this is going to come in. But the only thing that stops it is self-doubt. Because, you know, we live in a world of nowadays where it's just like, you know, there's so much, how do I put this into words? There's so much, not competition, but so much, kind of like competition, actually. You know what I mean? Like, in the sense of, like, artistry with kids that don't have money. You know, kids that, you know, and they're like, well, how can, you know what I mean? I need these expensive music videos. Like, how do I set this up? It's like,
check off these boxes.
You know, it's funny.
Do list, check boxes.
You want to hear a funny story?
Yeah.
So, Out of Love, the music video, first one I dropped in June. First single. Pretty much, long story short, I had a couple videographers, you know, that were hired, did the video, and I just didn't. It wasn't my vision. So Felix gifted me they're like DJI, like these little like camera things, and I just filmed it myself. You know, set it up and did the whole video myself.
Wow.
I want to do a huge shout out to Liftoff Supply, my brother. You know, hands down, one of the most creative, intelligent people in the world. You know what I mean? And, I mean, this guy's literally insane. I mean, he does clothing, fashion, you know, his new, fashion line just dropped, his new series. It's, so I want to do a big shout out to my boy Liftoff, you know, the new collection just dropped, Failed by Design. You know, it's a collection based off, you know, my single Teenage Ammonia. And I mean, the guy's like, I've never met someone that is so just talented in every aspect, you know? I mean, when it comes to, he's a producer, he does fashion, he does animations, like, there's like nothing the guy can't do, you know? And just like his belief in me and working hard and just, you know, just being a good person. It's just like, and that's the only thing people I want around me, you know? It's like, there's so many evil and wicked people in this world, and it's like, I don't have time, you know? I want to be the voice for the broken, the voice for the people that can't speak up for themselves, and help people that are going through, you know, stuff similar to mine and can't express it. But you know, let me be that voice for you guys, and let me be that person to, you know, walk you through this and get you through that depression and get you through that sadness. And, you know, because that's why I'm here, you know, my whole aspect. I love music. I don't do this for fame. I don't do this for money. I do it because I love music and I love people. And I feel like, you know, we're in a society where it's just sad. And I know there's so many people that are just in pain and just voiceless. And I just want to be the voice for the misled, the broken, the stressed out, the depressed, and let them know that, you know, I'm here for them. And I know how it feels to be alone. You could be in a room full of people and still alone, you know, empty.
Yeah.
'Cause when the party's over and you go home, it's like, you know, and that's just like me. It's like, you know, I'm going out, going to all these places, showing faces, and it's just like, but when I get back home, still alone.
Yeah.
This is where I create. This is where the magic happens. This is, you know, my little sanctuary where I feel I can express how I feel and put out my raw emotions and how I really feel, because it's not a facade. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I hear you.
It's like, I'm looking for the alcohol bottle right now to speak. I can't even find it, but like, you know, there we go. Like, this is how I really live. You know what I mean? Like, and I just want to let you guys know, I mean, not as an example, but it's just like, you know, I just want to be the voice for the youth, because I've been through so much in my life, and it's just like, I'm at the point where it's like, you know, it's like, what's the point of this world?
And, you know, someone could be watching the video, like, judging, like, oh, what are you doing? Like, well, how come you just don't, like, take the bottle away? Like, you know what I mean? But we can't save anybody, and everyone has their own journey, and, you know, we can support one another. But, you know, and it's easy to judge people. It's really easy to judge someone's process, because in your mind, you know, we have all these things in our head to, like, straighten something out, but everyone has their own learning lessons to grow through, and this is a part of your journey, not an alcohol bottle in your hand necessarily. But I'm just saying, like,
metaphorically, yes.
Metaphorically speaking, it's like this. You know what I mean? It's crazy because there's this book. I forgot what it's called, but it talked about, like, what is freedom? You know,
Love that.
What is freedom?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
What's freedom?
What is freedom to you?
A freedom to me in this moment, I choose to be here. I'm not here because I have to.
Yeah.
My time is my focus and my attention is the number one currency above everything. So freedom to me is health. It's the number one wealth, and making a choice of where I am, and I choose to be here. That's freedom.
I respect that. You know, and where I was getting to is, you want me to tell you what freedom is?
Please.
Freedom is that 2-year-old child that's walking around, that's learning the world, has no stress, you know, playing around, falling, you know, and people lose that inner child.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's when, you know, everything gets messed up, you know? And it's like, don't lose that inner child. Don't let that piece of yourself go, because, you know, it's like we live in a society now where it's, you know, do this. And I'm not saying, you know, stay focused. You know, you have to, you know, have a job. You have to, you know, build something, but don't let that inner self go, and don't let anyone judge you, say anything. Don't listen to anybody. You know what I mean? Besides,
don't listen to Louie Lone either.
Yeah, don't listen to me, but in the end of the day, it's just like, this is how I am. And I'm going to tell you just how this, full fact, full-fledged, you know? Don't let your inner child die, you know what I mean? Because people set limitations, you know what I mean? I remember talking to this one kid, you know, and he was like, you know, he said, I want to get a tattoo so bad, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, he said he didn't want to get it because of
what everyone else thinks.
What everyone else would think. And it's like, man, it's like, do what you want to do. This is your life. We got this one life here.
Yeah, well, we have these scripts in our head. Like, times, I'm sure.
It's not script, it's standard.
Yeah, that too.
You know, it's like a basis of like, okay, go here, go to your 9 to 5, going back home, go to college, go get in debt. Then you, after college, guess what? Now you're in debt and you do all this. And then what's it for?
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Are they happy?
You get what I'm saying? Are they doing what they love to do?
Are they doing what they were told to do?
But it's in a sense, though, it's like maybe, you know, and that's in a different sense. But I'm talking like, you know, from hearing people's stories, like this one, I remember when I was working, long story short, when you know, I've been financially successful for a period of time. And I remember about one time when I lost everything, I was like, you know, like 19, 20, I was working this 9 to 5 job. I had to put makeup over my heart tattoo, put on glasses. And this guy that was working there was like, yeah, you know, my nephew just went to 6 years of college and he's working at Domino's. And I'm like, you know what I mean? And it's like, just be yourself and do what you want to do in the end of the day. But it comes to a fact, though. It's like, you know, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a psychologist, but it's like, do what you want to do. Be yourself, man. And it's like, that's just all I want to say. And that's just raw as I can be, you know? I'm not going to come to you guys and tell you, hey guys, what's up? I'm Louie Lone. This is how I live. No, this is really what it is. You feel me? And it's like, I do what I love to do. And it worked out.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your story and your journey. What I would like to say on that topic, from me, my education and upbringing, and hearing some about yours. Well, with the age of technology, it's so cool because, you know, people go to Columbia or NYU for the clout and the, you know, for the degree, the certification, to feel proud and worthy that, oh, I got this trophy. And, you know, there's so many courses that you can take now and get certification, specialty, instead of, you know, spending $100,000 in education and going to school for 4 years. You can get certified in 10 weeks in something, like, and do specialty and do a variety thing. It's not just doing one thing anymore. Like, it's being, you know, well educated in different areas.
Doing what you love. And like, I be laughing, you know, because like I'm more of a homebody, you know, but I just been going to, like, you know, to like these clubs and stuff and seeing these, like, it's like, man, they're just so fascinated from Instagram followers, hype and cloud and all this, like what is that really what makes you happy? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, behind the scenes, it's the ones who align with the certain agencies and the certain friends to buy them the followers or get the followers. And so
what are they doing it for?
It's a part of a clique society. It's just all a business.
But this is what I'm trying to say. But what are they? I understand on the business aspect, but
like,
how I feel it's like, why are you doing that to please other people? Are you doing that because there's insecurities inside deep in you that make you feel like you have to be a name or be someone?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just on a whole basis. It's just like, man, it's just, I'm the type of person where it's just like, it does, you know, it's like, I don't do this for that reason.
Yeah.
I do this because I want to help people.
Yeah.
It's just, I want to help. I know there's a lot of people in pain, a lot of people that don't have that voice. And I feel like in the music industry now, you know, rest in peace to the voices, but there's not a voice that's really, you know, expressing and helping people that are going through pain. And you know, relating, you know, it's to the point, but there's a bunch of kids and stuff out there that are really going through it, you know, and a lot of sad things and a lot of pain. And it's like, you guys don't understand that. I feel you guys on a whole different basis, and it's,
the world needs your voice.
They do. And it's not something on a basis where it's like about fame and clout. You know, I know it comes with everything, but it's just like, I just want to be the voice for the broken, the people that can't speak, you know, and let them know that we can make it through this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't, like, my fan base and all my people, it's like, I don't even want to call them fans. It's just, we're a family, you know, and what we're going to do is, you know, this is a long journey, and you guys are going to see, you know, we're going to make it out of this. And that's the whole goal, is to see where it is right now, and where it becomes, and
Yeah.
we got this, guys. You guys know it.
Maybe there's going to be little loans on the way pretty soon. Little loans.
You know what I mean?
We'll have to clone little loans.
Exactly. And it's just like, don't do drugs. Don't get involved in that. Just, if anyone, I'm telling you guys, for all the youth and stuff, like, just, you might think, growing up, for me, as a kid, it was, oh, it was cool if you did this. It was cool if you do that, But it's just be that person where it's like, if you don't want to do it, don't listen, like, don't feel like, how can I explain this? Don't feel pressured, don't think, oh, I'm going to do this because this person's here and I think this person's cool. Like, do what your heart tells you. And I'm telling you, because you can get involved in something and it's like firsthand, you know what I mean? You can try something and end up, really enjoying it and having your life fall into pieces. So it's just like, stand up for yourself and stay away from drugs, stay away from all that, because it's a bottomless pit, and I felt like, me growing up in a society where it's so normal. You get what I mean? It's so normal. I mean, it's like when you're growing up, 16, you're drinking, you're doing this, you're doing that. And then 18, 19 comes and now you're addicted to something. You don't even realize.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like.
Well, we're still developing.
But it all comes from that first time. You get what I mean?
Well, 50 Cent talks about it. He is like.
That's one of my favorite artists.
Shout out 50, we love you. He's like, it's like you get that high. And he talks about it, with his album or his first film. You always chase after that first high. So it's like, enjoy the process and the struggle. Enjoy the space in between. When you come home and you're alone, like, what do you do when you're alone? So
yeah, no, 100%. But it's the basis where I'm trying to touch on. It's like, being like the youth, the young. You know what I mean? Where it's just like you got that older guy that comes out and he's like, hey, like, try this, and you feel tempted, but your body's telling you no, but you feel like, oh, I got it,
Yeah.
Listen to yourself. Yeah, don't ever be peer pressured. Don't listen to it. Just don't even, you know what I mean? Don't even get started. I'm telling you guys firsthand, just, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? It's really not, hands down. I battle a lot of problems and stuff, and it's just like, I just want to be that voice to let you guys know that it's not cool. It will take you down a spiral that you don't want to go. I wish I would have known at a younger age and would have had, someone that would have expressed this to me. You get what I'm saying?
1000%. It's why we have the podcast. It's, free education, which is great. The thing is, it's like, it doesn't matter if there's 4 million people listening or 4 or 1. If we can inspire one person and be the ripple effect, it starts with us, one person at a time, and then it grows.
No, of course. And that's why it's like, me, I'm not saying that I'm the straight, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just letting them know, like, it's not cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's not cool to be drinking. It's not cool to be doing that stuff. Don't look at me and be like, oh, I want to be like him. I want to drink. I want to do this. Like, you don't. I'm telling you, you don't want to do this.
But you know what? You're into the magic mind, and that's a healthy replacement.
It is a healthy replacement.
So do things that are vices. Get into, because we all have our vices, but what's your vice? So like,
all my hobbies from the vices, they consume me. Now I feel like I'm losing control. What I say in that song, I said, rocking diamonds all over my body, feel like I got frostbite from my cardio. Oh. I said, all my vices turn to all my vices turn to hobbies. Then all my vices turn to hobbies. They consume me. Now I feel like I'm losing control. Yeah. No, for real though. That's the truth. You can turn water to wine. I said, I got 10 bands and we outside trying to make love on the south side. Yeah. Bro, we was going crazy on that track. Shout out. Hey, I got to answer this. Hey, Felix. You're on a podcast right now. Wait, FaceTime me. You're on this podcast. Hey, this is Felix, everyone. Say what's up.
You have to make him big. Oh, there he is big.
What's going on?
This is who we were talking about earlier. His producer, Felix, who helped him.
That's my brother, the best producer in the world.
Only the people on the video are going to be able to see how beautiful his face is.
He's a beautiful guy.
Hey, guys.
Shout out my boy, Felix. So what were you saying, my guy? You got it done?
I fixed the guitars.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. We on this podcast. You dig?
Hey, even when you're on the podcast, we still working, right?
We don't stop. It just never ends, Hey, shout out my boy, Mixed by Felix. I'm telling you, the best engineer, mix mastering guy, the coolest dude.
We'll put his link in the show notes.
We're going to put his link in the show notes.
We're going to have a lot of show notes for y'all.
I mean, he's the best. I'm telling you guys, hands down, like, the best. I love this guy to death.
Appreciate
my brother. That. I told him the story about how we built that studio.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Yeah, of course. I had to, bro. That was history.
Story,
Hey, let me tell you guys something else too. Look, when I lost everything, you know who the one person that was there? This man right here, giving me free studio sessions. And I was at the point of my mind I've ever made. Remember when I came to your studio and I came to his studio and I looked at him and I was so like, you know, I was just going through like a psychosis kind of, you know what I mean? At that time of my life, you know, and I looked at him and I go, I'm on Saturn right now. You know what I mean? But he was still just like supportive and cared and just believed in me when I
it's all you need myself, is one person to believe in you.
That's it. I mean, I'm telling you guys would not be hearing my music if it wasn't for this man right here. My brother, it means the world to me, man. Mixed by Felix, the best engineer, hands down. I'm telling you, like, it's just, man, he's so talented, man, and the coolest person in the world, my brother. Love is pain. You guys don't know how many hours we put in. Remember, but me and you would be in there, dog. We locked in for all those days. You remember?
Man, we went through all the emotions. I remember we got like mad at each other one time, and then we leveled down. Like, bro,
that was so funny. I remember one time we were going through so much stuff. One time we were right here, and we were just going through so much stuff, and like pretty much, you know, something was said, and I was like, he was like, you know, starts packing up, and I was like, I barely cried, but I loved this guy so much to death. You know, I start like tearing up.
Wow.
And he's like, we go downstairs, and it was just like a whole thing. He's like, we're like, wait, what are we doing? All right, then we go back upstairs and finish the record. It's just like we went through so much emotions, and you know, me and him both in this industry, we've dealt with so many people that have just treated us like shit, try to fuck us over.
Wait, you're gonna be on it. We're gonna do another podcast episode, and we're gonna talk about all the effed up stories and things to watch out for in the music industry, because we've been through it and we're still here. So we're gonna share that on another episode with y'all.
Yeah, you know, being in the industry, you know, they say the industry is kind of like more snakier than the streets, bro. It's kind of fucked up. It's really predatory, and if you've been fucked over or scammed, trust me, you guys are not the only ones. You know what I'm saying? We're looking out for people and letting them know, hey, like, you know, this person could be a scam. You know, we can go on totally all kinds of different topics talking about this topic, but
we will, and it's like
we'll
he's right. It's like down. You know, the underdogs always win. You dig?
Yes.
The underdogs, the ones that put through all the pain and everything, and it's like, man, it's like if you guys knew the backing of Love is Pain and everything that went through it, and it's like something that, you know, me and Felix will share for the rest of our life. You know, I got this man tatted on me to feel it. You know, my brother forever, you know, and it's just like the chemistry and it's just follow your gut, follow your tuition, and just be around people that make you feel good and support you.
And I like what you said, chemistry too.
It's the chemistry, you know?
That's so sacred, chemistry. And I feel like in society, it's falsely abused based on materialistic items, which don't last. And your chemistry is such an important...
But you got to think, it was literally, I mean, from the end of 2018, and I really want to touch base on this. You know, I lost my best friend. You know, my best friend passed away. Rest in Samir. That son is dead. My best friend, you know, I used to, you know, every Tuesday, I used to go pick up his flowers from his grave. And he was just the most heartwarming kid you would ever meet, you know. And he came from a wealthy family. He had everything he wanted, but he would just, his energy, his love, you know. And I want to show something that's very special. You know, when I finished this album, I went to my mom's house to go grab went to my mom's house to go grab my registration, and I'm looking through everything, and she goes, you know, and I see this, I'm like, Mom, what's this? You know, these are the last joints he ever rolled. I feel like this is a time to, you know.
Hey, yo, you remember when we were cutting records, and then all of a sudden it was 2:22 in the morning, and that pocket of joints, it just fell on the floor.
Yeah, it just popped everywhere. Just literally, we were sitting there and it just opened.
Right, we finished the record at 2:22 a.m.
2:22.
We were like, what the fuck? This was a sign. And so we sparked up the joint and like, fuck it. I'm like, wow, maybe the homie wanted us to like, I don't know, like bless us or something.
No, it's the truth, and it's like,
it was a trip. It's kind of, I don't know if anybody's like ghost or anything like that, but sometimes you can feel the spirit in the room. Like, and I don't know, man. It's just, you know,
I don't spark these up for not special moments right now. And these were, you know, the last joints he ever rolled. And rest in peace, my brother. You know, and through that time, you know, back to what we're stating, you know, losing your best friend and losing someone like that, it's deep, you know, and it's, you know, the love he had and just
the chemistry,
and it's just like the pain he had inside. It's like, you know, I wish you know, and I beat myself up about this because it's like, I wish I would have seen, you know, and known. And that let him know that, you know, that I was, you know.
How much he meant to you.
How much he meant to me. He meant the world to me, you know. And But, you know, I went there to go get my car tags. I'm looking through the drawers. You know, I see this right here. And this is right when we finished Love is Pain. And
oh, wow.
the day
recently, this year.
The day we finished Love is Pain, I go and I'm looking through the drawers and I see this. I was like, and you know, my mom doesn't smoke. What's this? And she's like, just want to let you know. Oh, she's like, oh, I forgot to give it to you. Samir's mom gave it to her to give to me. And it was the last joints he ever rolled. And
test.
was sparking him up, so his energy's in the room with us, and I'll never let his name die. You know, he was one of the best kids to ever live on this planet, and it's a blessing, you know, as a guardian angel to someone that watches over me, you know, because I always feel his presence, you know, like he said, you know.
Hey, Louie, you even recorded a song about him, didn't you?
I did. Should I play it right now?
Samir's Revenge, right?
Yeah.
Play it.
Is it a demo? I don't know.
I took you away, I felt like I was to blame. Now days have gone by without you, and I don't feel the same. I miss your touch and your I took you away, I felt like I was to blame. Now the days have gone by without you, and I don't feel the same. I miss your touch and your love and your presence, yeah. I wish you were here to see what I've been around. I know you watching over me I know you watching over me. I know you watching over me. I wish you were here to see me now. I promise I won't let your name die. I promise to carry you by my side. My guardian angel, the one in the sky. Aren't you right always by my side? Promise I won't let your name die. Promise I won't let your.
What are we gonna play now?
Hey, Louie, I'm gonna get back.
This is the one. We need that mix on this one. This is the rough.
I'm working on Shatter right now.
Oh, you working on Shatter?
Yeah, I'm working on Shatter. I'll call you guys back.
Okay, bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Oh, shatter for your love. Shatter for your love. Baby, I'm shallow from you. I'm broken, depressed all the time. Laying in bed, I'd rather just stay inside. Take me away from all this pain. Drugs in my system, I'm okay. Pills really take all the pain away. Without them, I feel like I'm insane. And I know it'll kill me one day. Rather wish that I didn't feel this pain. You think that I'm fine, but that's a lie. Inside my head is a carnival ride. Don't even remember my past life. Dead inside, but I'm alright. Baby, I'm shattered for your love. 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 Baby, I'm shattered for you. Baby, she says she don't want from me. Doubt she's crazy. Tells me that she loves me, but she don't know me. Waste of time, energy on me. I'm just a heartbreaker, bitch, please. The things that you tell me, it makes me feel free. I know it's lies, but please tell me. It keeps my mind at ease, at peace. But you'll hurt yourself, fall in love with me. You know what we need a song?
Heartbreaker.
So toxic, I can't even stop it. Something took my soul tonight, put for auction. Turn me to flames, turn me into a prophet. This life is crazy, amazing, a mosh pit. I'm holding on and I'm keeping my touch. And I got that Glock tuck if you want an option. All these girls crazy, they say that they love you, it's lies. They got options. I'm holding on. I can't even stop it. Something took my soul tonight, but for auction. Turn me to flames, turn me into a prophet. This life is crazy, amazing, a mosh pit. I'm holding on to you. I'm holding on to you. I threw my fears in the back of that cabin. We went first class. I never thought that my life would change overnight, but it just happened like that. So take me, I'm the one that you need. So take me, I'm the one that you need. I roll my pain up with all the bills. I'm in the hills, feeling real. I signed a deal worth $1 million, and I got the fame, the power still. Remember days I ain't had shit to my name. I had to go out and go work in the field. Flipping these packs, I could back on my wheels. Now I live lavish in Hollywood Hills. Now I live lavish in Hollywood Hills. Now I live lavish in Hollywood Hills. She want a rock star, she want a pop bars, she want a fast car, she want my dick card. Stay back, I don't want you by my side. I don't want you in my life. She want a rock star, she want a pop bars, she want a fast car, she want my dick card. Stay back, I don't want you by my side. I don't want you in my. She want a rock star, she want a pop bars, she want a fast car, she want my dick card. Stay back, I don't want you by my side. I don't need you in my life. She want Gucci couture, she want designer eyes. She want cocoa and gum, she want cocoa and lime. She want that Hollywood love from me, why? If she knew the real me, she would hide. I'm in the hills, I'm off a pill, yeah, I'm feeling fine. Sign me a deal, got me $1 million, my life's fine. Don't got a soul, I got the money, I'm fine, I'm fine. She want a rock star, she want a pop life. She want a rock star, she wanna pop bars, she want a fast car, she want my dick hard. Stay back, I don't want you by my side, I don't need you in my life. I just popped another pill to get right, and all these missed calls from you goodbye, and all this damage from you is not right. It drove me insane, love pain scars by. I don't got one tear to cry, heart so frozen, it's fine. And I know that you like me now, cause I got famous overnight. She want a rock star, she wanna pop bars, she want a fast car, she want my dick hard. Stay back, I don't want you by my side, I don't need you in my life. What's up? What's it gotta do with you? I ain't playing no games with you. So what's it gotta do with you? So stay about my way, yeah, I'm through with you. She want designer, she want Gucci on her kickstand. She want the love that she can't get, she need to get that. And I want the love that is for real, yeah, I need that. And I can't be wasting all my time thinking about all of our time, thinking about how the time flies, thinking about how our love died. And I'm doing better without you, I don't need you, I helped you. Thought it was real, I'm done too, never again will trust you. So stay off my phone, you block, boo, I don't want one that's like you. I got the money, you broke, boo, outer space life, I'm gone too. I sold my soul for the check and I ain't coming back. I got rid of my ex, I'd rather ice my neck. I got bored of the life, now I ride private jet. Now I got rid of my ex and I'm not upset. What's up? What's it gotta do with you? Cause I ain't playing no games with you. So stay about my way, yeah, I'm through with you. What's up? What's it gotta do with you? Cause I ain't playing no games with you. So stay about my way, yeah, I'm through with you. What's up?
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Kiriaki, over and out.